In this video, I'll be talking about the trigonometric ratios. So this will be the start of your trigonometry journey. Alright, so here we have a right angled triangle. Let's say we had this angle, theta, okay? This word, hypotenuse, right, refers to the largest side of the triangle, okay? And it's always opposite to this right angle, right here. So that's the way to remember it. Also, relative to this angle, right, this side is the opposite, okay? And the one that's closest to it, that's not the hypotenuse, is called the adjacent. And so these are the three trig ratios. Here we have sine theta, which is the opposite over hypotenuse, okay? Cos theta, which is adjacent over hypotenuse. And lastly, tan theta, which is opposite over adjacent. And you do have to remember this, and there is an acronym for you to remember it by, and that is SOHCAHTOA. So the way it works, right, is SO is sine theta equals to opposite over hypotenuse. Ka is cos theta. So cos theta is equal to a over h. And toa is this one, tan theta equals to opposite over adjacent. So here we're asked the question to label the opposite O, adjacent A, and hypotenuse. And that should not be A, that should be H. To theta. So theta is here, okay? And let's label the opposite first. So I think that one's straightforward. It's just the side that's opposite to the angle. So this side right here. The adjacent, right, is the one that's not the hypotenuse. Maybe it's easier to label the hypotenuse first because, as you might remember, it's always opposite to this right angle, okay, and it's the long side. So that is the hypotenuse. All right, and of course, the last one will be the adjacent, A. Here we're asked to write a trigonometric ratio for each of the following triangles. So this is theta. And to do this question right, you want to consider what you have. So do you have the opposite? Do you have the adjacent? Or do you have the hypotenuse? Okay. And so looking at this one, right, I know that I have the hypotenuse because this side right here is opposite to the right angle. Okay. So I have the hypotenuse. Now, I also have this 5 right here, and that is the adjacent. So this is the adjacent. And so what I can do, right, is I can refer to this and figure out which one has A and H. So sine theta has O and H. So that's not it. Cos theta has A and H. So we'll be using cos theta. Okay. And then here, cos tells you that you want to write it as A over H. So A in this case is 5. And H is 7. Okay. All right, so let's look at this question. So this is angle theta, right? And remember, we want to figure out if this has A, O, or H. Okay, so looking at this one, right, I have the opposite because it's opposite to this angle. So this 4 is O. And lastly, this 9 has to be the hypotenuse because it's opposite to the right angle. So I have H here. And so we need to figure out which one has O and H. And I've already pointed it here. So it's going to be sine. Sine theta. And here it tells you want to write O first. So in this case, that's 4. And then H, which is 9. All right, last one. So this is angle theta. And we just want to figure out if we have A, O, or H. So looking at this, right, here we have O because that's opposite. So that's going to be O. And this side has to be the adjacent because this side is opposite to the right angle. And this will be the hypotenuse. So the 5 right here is the adjacent. And so looking at these three, right, we need to figure out which one has O and A. So that's going to be tan theta right here. So I can write this as tan theta is equal to, here it tells you want to write the opposite first. So you write 3 over hypotenuse. Sorry, not hypotenuse, adjacent, which is 5. And yeah, that's your introduction to trig ratios.